Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Laura Canfield Show, the Awaken to Happiness Now Global Series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And today we have a brand new guest with us, Dr. Lara May. She's here with us today talking about awakening, grounding, and immunity through food and spirit. And so for those of you who don't know Dr. Lara, she is a medical clinical specialist, is a functional medicine clinical specialist, a master energy healer and channel, and an international speaker on a mission to empower you to take an active role in your healing and well-being of the mind, body, and spirit. So I know we're going to have a lot to talk about today. We're going to be talking about, like I said, awakening, grounding, and immunity through food and spirit. We're going to be talking about or learning about the light body and why it is vital to multidimensional healing and lasting well-being. We're going to be talking about and learning why awakening to ascension requires you to raise your vibration. We're going to be talking about and learning about the vibration of food and how it contributes to our grounding, immunity, and ascension. We're going to learn how to choose the right food blueprint for you to maintain a high vibration. And we're going to learn about the light body healing method, and we're going to experience a live light body activation. So all that and more, I'm excited. Dr. Lara is here with us. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the show.
Hello, hello. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Me too. And I'm so glad that you're here with us today. And this is such a wonderful topic. I love it. And because this is the first time that you're on our show, can you just share with our listeners, with our community, a little bit about who you are and how you got started on this path, especially with combining, you know, both the energetics and the physical, meaning the food, and how that relates to us raising our vibration, etc. In a nutshell. And I think we lost Dr. Lara again. Maybe she'll come back. But before she comes, oh, awesome.
Yes. Sure.
Just share a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yes, absolutely. I am a clinical pharmacist specialist that also practices functional medicine and energetic medicine. And I came to this culmination a few years ago when I sort of hit my own personal bottom. I was at work in a hospital pharmacy with a debilitating migraine, laying on the floor with all the lights off. It was an overnight shift, and I was just, praying to get to the end so I could go home. But at the time, I was also starting to educate myself and expand my own boundaries with different spiritual teachers. And I had something playing in the background, and a message came through that said, you have to care more about feeling good than anything else, and that will change everything about your life. And so I heard that at this moment of literally laying on the floor, and I thought, maybe that's what I've been doing wrong or what's been missing. I've been living a very distracted life. I was very successful in my professional life, but there were other things, obviously, with my physical health that weren't great at the time. So that to me was sort of the turning point where I started investigating integrative nutrition, which ultimately led to me becoming a functional medicine practitioner. And I, started to explore the avenues of Reiki and energy medicine. And that sort of, both of these things branched off, but then merged back together as I started down my spiritual path, learning about healing, communicating with the angelic realm, and practicing Reiki and some other modalities. And so now what I do with my patients is really a culmination of all of that together. So we're looking at the physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional, and coming up with a plan with a multi-modality approach to healing and well-being.
Awesome. Thank you. And, I think that is what is required nowadays, a multi-dimensional approach, a multi-modality approach, because it's not just one, we're functioning, multidimensionally, meaning, and also at the same time, not just multidimensionally, but multi-bodies, right?
Yes.
So I'm not sure what the term for that is yet, but because, you know, like there might be something going on with you physically, but it originated in your emotional body. It could have originated in your etheric body. It could have originated in your mental body, right? So you have to, you can't just deal with the physical symptoms. You got to deal with everything, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So, so let's talk about, and so I know that you're going to be taking some live caller questions today, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, good. So, just so that everybody knows, what kind of questions can people ask?
Yes.
Right. So what kind of
well, I have with me a I also channel through oracle cards.
Yeah.
Oh, they can ask anything from health and wellness questions, or even like mindset questions, or I'm a meditation and yoga teacher as well. So pretty much anything health and wellness oriented, and even spiritual and spiritual journey questions, I'm happy to field.
Awesome, great. So if you do have a question for Dr. Lara, you can raise your hand, or you can type in your question in the chat when we get to that point, but just giving you the heads up. And if you don't know how to raise your hand or something, just type in the chat, somebody will tell you. You'd think I would be able to know by now, but I have no idea. If you're not on the computer, I don't know how to tell you, because I don't do stuff on the phone. All right, so let's talk about the light body first of all. So there might be people on the call who don't know what a light body is. So can you tell us what is the light body, and why is it important to our healing and our well-being?
Absolutely. So we are, like you said, we are multidimensional, and we are definitely spiritual beings having a human experience. And the light body is actually outside of our aura, and it is part of the multidimensional layers of our etheric body. And so it is really, I see it as sort of our vehicle of transportation to the different realms that we can communicate with, to our spirit guides, to our angels, to any galactic realms that we are in touch with or communicating with. So the light body is that which connects us to the spiritual realm.
Awesome.
And from my perspective, it's important to, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay, sorry. So it's important to our healing and well-being, because we are all on our own unique spiritual journey, and we're all at different places, and most of us, we're looking for healing, or we're looking for connection, and the light body is really sort of, again, it's that transportation mode. It is the vehicle for which will enable that. And so when we bring in the light and the love straight from source into our energetic field and into our physical body, then that's when things start to really change, and it gets amped up, and it really propels us forward along our healing journey. It allows us to release what no longer serves us. It allows us to bring in what we're looking for, and really does open up the channels of communication with our higher self, our guides, our angels, all of that. So yeah, the light body is a very important link.
Absolutely. And so we talk about raising your vibration a lot on these calls, and in my own healing work, we talk a lot about raising our vibration. But why is it necessary, according to you? Why is it necessary to raise our vibration?
So again, we're energetic beings having a human experience, and there's a lot on this earthly plane that is low vibing, let's just call it that. And then there's a lot that's high vibing. This is a realm of polarity, right? Duality. And so I feel like that's part of our soul contract, choosing to incarnate at this time on this planet in these bodies. It's a physical experience that's full of contrast, but also it's that journey back to oneness. We came from source. We're here experiencing contrast and duality, but eventually we'll transition back into oneness. And so raising the vibration is part of that journey of ascending and expanding and transcendence back into oneness. And so when we want to communicate with our angels, our spirit guides, our higher selves, they're vibrating at a very high vibration, and they are not going to come down to meet us, let's say at the ground level, so to speak. And so in order to enlist their help, part of our engagement with that soul contract is to raise our vibration to meet them. And so that also that we can raise the vibration of all of those of us around us, because we are all connected and we are all one. And I feel like that's what's really coming through a lot lately, especially with this huge contrast that we're experiencing right now across the world. I feel like it's bringing that oneness to the forefront.
Absolutely. And so I want to talk about food. And so how does the vibration of our food translate to our immunity, grounding, and ascension? Especially right now, immunity is a big topic, right? It's a hot topic right now. So let's, so how, you know, so I'm curious too. It's like, okay, what about food? What food should we be eating to also raise our vibration, to become more, you know, to boost our immune system, etc.?
So just like everything on this planet and across the universe has its own vibration, and so food also. And depending on how the food was sourced, where it was grown, the environment that so influence that vibration of, let's say, a tomato or a potato or a piece of fruit, produce, whatever. And so, and even the animals that we ingest, or maybe those of us that choose not to. So really, if we are on a path and an intention of ascension and raising our vibration, then we want to bring in as much high vibrational food as possible. So organic, non-GMO, as clean as possible. And we're all unique and we're all different. So we each have, you know, a special combination, so to speak, that will really help us, that'll meet us where we are and help us expand and grow. And so that's one of the things that I teach my clients too, is really how to get in touch and talk with their angels and their higher self and their spirit guides to help, say, hey, help me. Can you show me what will support me? Can you show me, you know, maybe what maybe is different for my sister, but that will, you know, help me specifically. So yeah, it's really cool. And but in general, immune boosting foods, anything with vitamin C. So obviously citrus, but also leafy greens are really high in vitamin C, and they also have a lot of elemental things like zinc and magnesium. And zinc is a very powerful antiviral agent. So loading up on.
And it's also about not tapping into the fear matrix as well, right?
Non-GMO, because our body recognizes those Yes. So trusting that what is provided for you will support you. And so focusing, like you said, not buying into the fear, but focusing on what can I do to support? What can I do to grow? What can I do to expand?
And so would you also recommend like raising the vibration of the food before we eat it, before we consume it? You know,
yes,
blessing it or
absolutely.
whatever.
Yes. So you can definitely bless it with your intention. If you're attuned to things like Reiki, you can infuse them with Reiki energy. But yes, just our intention is so powerful. So just even sitting and, you know, bringing in that intention of loving energy, of healing energy, of asking, you know, may this benefit me in the highest and best way possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. Sometimes we think it needs to be more complicated, and it doesn't, you know?
Right. Yes.
Right. And so, and people forget how powerful we each are as individuals. You know, we are powerful. If you believe that, trust that, you know, recognize that, then yeah, you can change the vibration frequency of the food, the water, etc. Right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And or yes, and another tools that I also sometimes suggest is muscle testing.
Hmm.
So if you're at the grocery store and you're, just curious, or if you're thinking like, okay, you go in with the intention of, I want to load up my cart with as much immune supporting food as possible, and just go through and ask, muscle test, is this for my highest and greatest good? Yes or no, and it's fun too. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and even before you eat something, you can ask your body, do you want this? And again, it's muscle testing or asking your body, it's almost the same thing, but you can just ask your body, do you want this? Yes or no, and see what you get, and then you'll know, okay, my body really doesn't want that. And I think, for the past week or two, I've been bad, like not eating well, and I've been eating more bread, etc. And maybe that's, not helping. So, but it's a
yeah.
situation. We don't have access to everything that we
Yeah,
would like.
so it's a practice.
Hmm.
Right. Right. But you bring up a good point that it's a practice of tuning in with ourselves and our own body, and also tuning in with our intuitive guidance, because we're all intuitive and we all have that connection with our higher selves, angels, and source. So it's just a matter of getting used to tuning in to that conversation that's always happening and within our bodies. So yeah, just like you said, does my body really want this? Or um, you know, is just that question though, is this for my highest and greatest good?
Yeah.
Will this support me
Right.
in being my highest and best self?
Awesome. Yes, thank you. And that's something we forget to do, right? We forget to ask those types of questions. And so we can start doing that now. And that's simple and easy, and
Mhm.
practice with it. So don't go picking big questions. Just, ask simple things at the beginning. And just trust, the thing is, it really is about trusting. So
Yes.
I wanted to talk about, the light body healing method, and even like, basically it is about, right now, the situation that we're in, we're all working on ourselves, right? We are all working on ourselves. We're doing so much, and I guess I'll save this for later. So let's talk about the. I'll save that question for later because I know it's going to come up.
Okay.
So let's talk a little bit about the light body healing method, and then we'll take some questions from people and see what they have to ask. But I have a question.
Okay. Okay, great. Yeah, so the light body healing method is just my approach, and I have sort of spoke about this earlier, but it's just my approach to working with each individual,
Mhm.
wherever they are, meeting them where they are, asking them what their goals and intentions are, and then coming up with that plan. So maybe it's someone struggling with gut issues. And so, okay, well, let's look at that. Let's look at it from the energetic perspective. What's going on in that third chakra? Are we having some self-esteem issues, or is there stuff from our childhood or our past lives maybe that can be cleared and healed? And then also too, we'll look at foods and herbs and supplements, and then lifestyle. Do you have a super stressful life?
Mm.
Um,
Mhm.
do you not sleep well? All of these things that can really affect our gut, for example. Just it helps to give it context sometimes. So yeah.
Mhm. Awesome. Thank you. And that's the thing, is like, we it is important to have some sort of practice. It is important to tap into our own knowing as well. And at the same time, it is important to get support, right? It's important to get support when, you've tried everything and nothing seems to be working, which is not true, but it seems to be sometimes not working. Then get
Hmm.
support from somebody else, right? And so the question what I was going to ask you was about, when you're doing the stuff, you're doing everything, and like nothing is working. What do you do? Who do you go to when that
Um,
happens? I mean, I have a few people, but it's like,
yeah.
oh my god, it's like, it's so frustrating when it's like it's the same thing recurring again and again and
Hmm.
again. And it's like, all right, what is this trying to tell me? I know that's something we should ask, but what is this trying to tell me?
Yeah, so that exactly. So first thing is when things, especially when we seem to be going in a cycle and it just does nothing really seems to be shifting the way we want it to, that's our first clue to step back and say, okay, what is this trying to tell me? What am I supposed to be learning from this? What am I not getting?
Mm-hmm.
And because the first step to any change is awareness.
Yeah. Oh, Neo, no.
Being real and getting honest. And so I think having a team around you, whether it's friends, family, healthcare practitioners, when I first started on this journey, I had a naturopath, I had an acupuncturist, and then I still have my regular, Western medicine primary care physician. So um, it's definitely about different perspectives and gathering the information and seeing what resonates with you and what you can realistically implement, because you can go to all the practitioners in the world, but if you're not an implementer and you're not implementing change that they're suggesting, then you can't create change without action.
Yes, that is so true. That is so true. If you're not taking the suggestions, if you're not taking the next
As
step, if you're
well,
not taking
right?
action,
So
nothing's going to change.
that, yeah, so that healthcare practitioner, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Ah, it's interesting.
Yes. And
That
so most of the time we are getting intuitive guidance all day long, and we only probably take, I don't know, like at best 20% of it to act. And I'm in that same boat. So it's a constant attention shift to
mhm.
refocus, and because we're human, we're not perfect, but it's about how quickly we come back to center, so to speak.
Yeah, got it. All right. So if anybody has a question, you can you can raise your hand or you can type your question in the chat. Um, so this is not just about like physical questions, but emotional questions, mindset questions, um, ascension questions, right?
Yes,
So,
yes.
so can you, so I'm going to be one of those people that I always say, don't be one of those people on my show, but I'm going to be, I'm going to be one of those people right now. So, and it's just more of like can you tune into a person's field and see what is physically wrong or not working properly or out of balance or kinky?
I tune in. Yes, I do. So I will get definite messages and hits about things. So I don't. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily come through as what most people think is, like mm, I don't know, like Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But the answer is yes.
Okay, so my question is, until somebody asks a question, because maybe they're just like, I don't know, nervous today. But my question is, so like I have this thing in my neck and it's like driving me crazy. And it's like I have this pain in my neck and it's a literal pain in my neck. But I find that when I'm outside and I'm walking around, there's no pain. But when I come back home, I'm in the apartment, I'm sitting down, it's like, oh my God. So do you have any information for me? I was getting some
So
information
you want to
today.
know what is that?
Well, I was getting some information today about that. I was
Yeah. So
asking,
what? Mhm.
right? And so I was asking the questions of myself, like, what is this? What's going on? And so I found for myself is that when I'm outside, I'm more expanded out. And then when I come inside, I'm more contracted.
Yes, I definitely think that's one aspect. The other thing that came through for me as soon as you asked that was groundedness. So when you're outside, you are connected with the earth, you are grounded, and the neck pain could be a culmination of both the fifth and sixth and possibly even seventh too, really just those upper chakras. So
Mm-hmm.
when you're home, are you, distracted, or, maybe very much into your intuitive business and your healing practices. And so it's important that we really, especially as healers or energetic practitioners, that we maintain a balance. And so grounding is of ultimate importance.
Yes, I know. And, it's something we talk about in all of my healing calls too. But, and that's the thing, it's like, and that's what everybody says. Everybody says that to me. You're not grounded enough. It's like, really? I don't know what else to do. It's like, I don't know what else to do. So it's like, it's ridiculous how, but I just noticed that today. It's like, yeah, when I'm outside, I'm feeling good. When I'm inside, oh my God, not so much. So.
I just sort of got another aspect too, is that we, and again, this is not just you, but this came through as you were speaking about it, is that as humans, we tend to be a little bit focused on controlling things. And when we surrender and let go and go more with the flow, then things that sort of seem to be nagging at us will lift, they will dissipate. And it's transmute, all these different, things they'll, because the energy is moving and we're flowing and we're going with it instead of resisting.
Yeah. And so the people who know me really well, I'm sure they're all laughing right now. It was like, yeah. I am a recovering control freak. I am a recovering control freak. I admit it, but I do tend to, like, one of my phrases really is go with the flow. Just go with the flow, So it's interesting, but yeah, thank you. So, so that's something that, I'm continuing to work on. We'll continue. I'm like sweating now. Continue to work on. So it's fine. Thank you. So Sarah's asking, what are your views on detoxing the body?
Sarah, I'm really glad you asked that, because we've talked about food a little bit with, how it affects your vibration, but also not having food affects your vibration.
True. Oh, I think we might have lost Dr. Lara.
Detoxing.
Oh, she's back. Good.
Oh, I'm back.
Yeah.
Sorry. What's the last thing you heard? Because I was jabbering on.
Oh, goodness. You said, thank you, Sarah, for asking that question.
And then I went away.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just said that fasting and detoxing can be just as important as what we're eating or not eating. So so we're all bombarded with toxins and, all different sorts of heavy metals and gases, all these things, with spiritual modalities as well.
So you got cut off at heavy metals when you were talking about heavy metals, but basically, basically the gist is you have to have a balance between the two, right?
Yes.
So there's a place for fasting and detoxing, and there's a place for eating the right foods.
Yes, so it's important that we eat the right foods on a regular basis, but because we are exposed to so many different types of toxins on a daily basis, I think a detoxing does hold a place for it to be a seasonal thing. So maybe quarterly, or maybe, twice a year, whatever it is, depending on, where you live and what your occupation is and how much you're exposed to. But I definitely think, and again, detoxing can be a variety of things. It can be spiritual, it can be water, baths, saunas, food, fasting, so many different ways. And so it's really important too, if you're going to do it, to figure out again what works with your body and where you are. Maybe if you have a blood sugar problem, maybe fasting is not the way that you should go about detoxing. Maybe more like sweating it out would be a better way to approach it. So each person can definitely approach that from a personalized point of view as well.
Yeah, totally. Makes sense. So Debbie's asking, and thank you, Debbie, for this. She's asking, Dr. Lara, could Alara bring in a branch or something from her yard, like rocks, plants, etc., and put them by her work area? Would that also help her ground while she's indoors?
Yes. I don't know about you, Alara, but I keep crystals all throughout my office. And
Yeah.
so I work in a home office and I do a lot of energy work in here. And so the room is pretty much surrounded with rocks.
Yeah, mine too. Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, so bringing in different things, different elements.
Yeah. Is it possible too that, I don't like to ask these types of questions, especially on live calls like this, but is it possible too that it could be like a energetic attack or something?
Yeah.
I
It
sound
is
like
possible, but
Destiny.
it's possible, but I'm not getting that for you specifically.
Yeah, I
So
don't get it either.
yeah, but it is I mean, that in general, could that be possible? Yes, it could be possible, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think it is for me. But if Destiny's here, that's a question that she normally asks, something like that, but she's not here today. So,
Okay.
so I thought I would ask.
Yeah.
Right, good. But at least, that's something that you can tap into and see if that is a possibility, right? Or
Yes.
something that's going on.
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
awesome, good. So I can take that out of my field and say, nope, that's not happening. Just like, nope, because I wasn't getting that either. Instead,
Yeah.
it was more of a, yeah, other stuff, more of a spiritual thing, I think, an
Okay.
energetic thing,
Yeah.
like anything else. So.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why this past life sort of popped in. I don't know if you've, we've all had so many.
Yeah.
Definitely,
I have. I've definitely had past lives where I was hung. I've been like, my head cut off. Yeah, all sorts of wonderful stuff. So yes, that I do know about. But
Yes, yes.
for sure. So
And I think it's important. Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. So sorry. Go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say, even with past life things, when we've have things cleared, I see it more as like peeling back the layer of an onion. So we can have work done on an area or with an experience, and it sometimes doesn't clear it all the way. Sometimes we need to process the different layers, especially if it's a deep trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to, I guess, point that out too, because even myself, even what in this life and past lives, we all need to address our trauma
Mm-hmm.
and be willing to look at that with love, but also release it and not hold on to it, because that doesn't serve us.
Yeah, absolutely. So Barb is asking, do you think starting the day with lemon water and postponing eating until noon is detoxing enough? A few times. Oh, I'm not sure if I'm asking the right question, Barb. So I'm just going to do the first one. Do you think starting the day with lemon water and postponing eating until noon is cleansing?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a simple yes. Yes.
Oh, and so a few times a week, would that be good as a detoxing type of thing?
Yes. So again, I would definitely encourage to tune in with your own body to see what supports you in the best way. But if you are the type of person whose metabolism can support detoxer, it helps flush out our liver, and the longer we take those eating intervals, the more it gives our different organs that help digest food rest time, and then it sort of forces our body to burn through, again, what no longer serves us. So fat cells, or, and it does. So yes, it's a little mini detox every day.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Good. And Angela is asking, does vinegar in water once a day help, or does it add toxins?
I would be on point and tuned in with what kind of vinegar that you're using. I usually buy apple cider vinegar that has the mother in it. In the US, that's the Bragg's brand. And that is an organic product as well. So you shouldn't really be getting any toxins from that type of vinegar.
I'm not sure I understood that.
If you're going to do the vinegar with water, it's recommended to do it on an empty stomach.
So what do you mean by apple cider vinegar with mother? Did I hear you right?
Yes. So vinegar is a fermented product, and so sort of like kombucha. If you've ever made kombucha, it has the SCOBY, so the part of it that actually ferments and has the probiotics and the acetic acid in it. So yeah, so that's the mother, so to speak. Okay. So if you wanted to, actually, you could make your own with that. That's how a lot of people start their own kombucha as well.
Okay, awesome, good, thank you. So there you go, Angela. Hopefully that helps. But yeah, if it's the Angela I know, she's not in the States, but this could be a different Angela, who knows? So just see what's available for you, okay? All right, anybody else have any questions? I mean, people just have like body type questions. Nobody has any energetic questions? No blocks? Most people ask about, do I have any blocks? Today, no one is asking, do I have any blocks? And I'm like, I always say, you can't ask that question. Everybody has blocks.
We do.
Debbie, I do? Meaning I do have blocks? We all do have some blocks. How do I? So Deb says, how do I release beliefs that do not serve me? That is a really general question, but we'll go with it. How do I release beliefs that do not serve me?
Well, Debbie, just the fact that you're asking means that you have the intention to do so. So the first step, like we spoke about earlier, is awareness. And so by acknowledging that you have some beliefs that no longer serve you, that is so powerful in and of itself. And then, so the next step beyond that is this is a general question, but so I would encourage you to get more specific, because the more specific that we can be, the more productive it can be. And but you could also use this, you could also do this with a written meditation. And I've been really enjoying this myself lately, where I tune in, I call in my angels and my guides, and almost do like a little channeled writing. And so I have my list of questions before. So my questions come from my grounded space, and then I tune in and I just sort of free write the answers that come through. So that might be something fun for you to try, Debbie.
Or Deb, or anybody else. Absolutely. I like that. Yeah, that's fun. And it's like, it is like channeled writing, but it's kind of like you're getting the answers from your higher self.
To what you can do for those beliefs. So, but the willing, yes.
So Deb is asking, I have pain in my feet and I'm wondering if I should release or add love. I like that question, Deb. I have pain in my feet and I'm wondering if I should release or add love. We will see in a second when Dr. Lara comes back.
I'm back.
Okay, good.
Okay, so the question was, I have pain in my feet and I do it, add or release?
Yeah, should I release or add love? Well, should always add love. That will help.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm getting both, which I know is always, someone's favorite answer when they ask for intuitive guidance, and the answer is yes to everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, but I think, again, just like we were talking about with Debbie, is that willingness. So you want to, and we can, when we work with the light body activation later, we can bring in love. And when you bring in the love, you can send it with intention to a part of your body that you need or want healing on. And so always remember too that you can do these practices on your own. And then as you can visualize bringing in the love to your feet, and then as it comes in, it actually sort of crowds out everything that no longer serves.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Good. So Dad, wait for the activation that we're going to do later, and use that for your feet, okay?
Yes.
So Deb is asking as a follow-up, if you send my feet love, does it automatically release what is blocking and causing pain?
Let's try it. But I think if you are consciously willing, so let's just do this.
Yeah.
Let's tune in.
I'm going to do it too. I have feet problems.
Close your eyes and center in. Your guide team to come in, bring love down.
So I think when Dr. Lara comes back, I'm going to tell her not to use video. Maybe that will help.
Hi.
Hi.
I went away again.
Yeah, so maybe turn off your video and see if that helps, because you were cutting out.
Okay.
Awesome. So let's try that.
Okay. Are we ready? We're going to bring some love to Deb's feet.
Yep, and anybody else who needs it.
All right, Deb. So my suggestion for you is to tune.
Wow, where do you live?
Plan if it needs it. Let's all visualize now bringing this love in all the way through our physical bodies and all the way down through our central core, through our feet, crowding out everything that no longer serves us. And as we breathe in, bring in more love, and as we exhale, release all that no longer serves. And breathe in again, more love from our crown all the way down to our feet. And we release all that no longer serves us. And we ask that this energetic release, that this channel that has been opened up, that it be continued for the next 7 minutes, next 7 hours, next 7 days, next 7 weeks, to continue to bring in the love and release everything that no longer serves us across all time, dimension, space, and reality for the highest and greatest good. And so it is.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
So that will continue, Deb, all right? All right, so Dave Ronnie is asking, how do we remove a heart wall?
Like a wall around our heart that we've sort of like put up in like protection and self-defense.
I guess.
Okay, yeah. So when working with heart chakra things, I like to call and so the conscious intention is again so very important and so very heart chakra changes and intentions. Again, it's like peeling back an onion, and so much of heart chakra stuff comes back to our own self-love and our own self.
Okay. Maybe Dr. Lara should call in on her phone. Right? Because
I can't even say third time's a charm.
I know it's like ridiculous. So, do you want to try calling in on your phone? Like, where do you live that you have such bad internet?
I'm in California.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. It's like, do you want to try calling in on your phone? Because I don't think we're going to be able to do the activation because it's just cutting out way too much. Right? So if you call in on your phone, you just have to make sure you put in the password 2020. Oh, I mean, I don't even know the phone numbers or anything like that, but I wonder if it's always this bad. I don't know. And you might have to let me know so that I can unmute you, or you can unmute yourself. Sorry, folks. I would love to, do more and, but there's really no point if she keeps getting out. So hold on. Hello? Hold on. She's coming back. Okay. You're back. You're not back. You are here. You're not here. I have no idea.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yep. We can hear you now.
All right, let's try this.
Okay, awesome. Great. Because now it's like, yeah, you sound different too. Your voice sounds different.
Oh, okay. Great. I hope it's good.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so we're talking about heart walls, how to remove a heart wall.
Yes. And so, so heart chakra work is really powerful, but and it can be so transformative. And the willingness to remove that heart wall takes such bravery and courage. But it also requires is that we really step up and open up for our own self-love and compassion and self-forgiveness and non-judgment. And because I think that's one of the things that we don't really think about a lot when we think about heart space issues. We think about how we've been wronged or hurt and impacted in whatever way, but we don't think about like how we've judged ourselves throughout that dynamic. And so it's really powerful and important to also bring in that aspect of self-love, self-forgiveness, and self-evaluation within that dynamic of releasing the pain and the hurt of, or the reason that you put up the wall to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, thank you. And it is when it comes to the heart chakra, the heart wall, there's a lot of work to be done, especially with forgiveness, with acceptance, with loving yourself, letting go of the judgments. There's so much, right? And so a lot of times we put up those heart walls to protect us, but a lot of times we don't need them anymore. But they're still there. So it's also about consciously choosing to let them go, right?
Yes. Again, the intention is so powerful. We are all such powerful creators that most of us don't even realize it until we start doing work like this. And we're like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
look what I can do with just my intention and a little bit of willingness. It goes a long way. It's so powerful.
Yeah. Awesome. So Sunshine is asking, how may I work with past life issues where there was a trauma, but I'm not able to connect with it? It's like a shadow, but I know the trauma somewhere in me, like it triggers something in me.
So you have a couple of options but a lot of times, especially with past lives, when we're wanting to release the trauma, it's not necessarily necessary for us to not relive, but like really see all the details, because we can ask, and it's so important that